Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we have a review of the QSP Hawk. This is a knife that I'm really excited for. So let's jump right in with some specs and size comparisons. And speaking of specs, QSP provides a little card with their knives with specs on it, which is awesome. This knife came in a very nice little box. It's magnetic, has a little foam in there. For a pretty inexpensive knife, that's awesome. Very awesome. Anyways, so specs. This is great for a guy like me who always forgets to take specs before I do my review. So we have a blade length of 3.225 inches. We have a handle length of 4.125 inches. We have an overall length of 7.35 inches. Width of the knife is 1.1 inches. And yeah, that's awesome. That's a really, really nice little inclusion. And as you can see here, we have they didn't check off the boxes. You know what? This is my job. Let's grab a little pin real quick. So this one is the 14C28N. And we have the micarta. All right. So yeah, that's nice. I appreciate that. So yeah. Limited lifetime warranty. People ask me to talk about warranty on knives, so there's their warranty info. So I put that box. There it is. Set that all aside. And let's get into the size comparisons. So, finally, 2 minutes into the video. Let's start out with our Rat 1. Line up the pivots as best as I can. And here's our Rat 2. So, yeah, not so far off from Rat 2 size. Very, very nice. And let's get out our old bug out. Our PM2. So it's a tiny bit shorter than the bug out. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Let's bring out our usual Civivi crowd. Put the big one on the bottom. There's the Praxis. And the Elementum, so kind of between the two. Let's bring out our good old Gerbers. The mini paraframe. And the full-size paraframe. So it's pretty similar in length to the full-size paraframe, but a little bit taller. And let's compare them against the only other QSP I have here at the moment. The Penguin. So yeah, this is not a large knife at all. At all. As you saw from the specs, we're looking at, on this particular version, 14C28N and this beautiful blue micarta. This is awesome. So steel deep carry pocket clip, steel liners, ball bearings, flipper deployment, and thumb studs. Good stuff. I always appreciate multiple deployments. But let's go cut up some cardboard with this guy and talk about him. Hey guys, whoa, it is way too dark in here. Let me get a light. I probably just did a face reveal, didn't I? I should have paused. You know what? We're just going to roll with it. You're welcome, everybody. So, QSP. It's still too dark in here. QSP Hawk. Ah, man. Welcome to my channel. We're disorganized here. Anyways, let's cut up a box. I have found some more cardboard to murder, and we will do it. So QSP Hawk. This is a smallish knife. You have a drop point blade of 14C28N with a pretty thin grind. I do not have my calipers. I'm between calipers, so I don't have an exact measurement of the edge thinness, but it does feel very thin. Definitely kind of in that Civivi-ish range. Maybe not quite as thin, but you know what I mean. Let's cut up a box. A thin box, though it may be. So 14C28N is one of my all-time favorite steels, period, not just budget steels. It's one of my all-time favorite steels in general. So I always like seeing a knife with that steel. It's a Swedish steel, is designed specifically for cutlery, so that's pretty cool. So, yeah, what do you want to do next? It's just, there's crumbs. So yeah, it's a great slicer. I mean, you kind of expect it to be at this size, and it is indeed. How about that action? It's running on bearings. You have a flipper and thumb studs that you can use as a thumb stud is supposed to be used, or Spidey flick it like a boss. The action is great. I like this action a whole lot. It's very, very dependable, very smooth, and it works equally well for flipper tab and thumb studs. The flipper tab itself is a little bit weird. If you look at that there, you really have to just get it light switch. Push buttoning it is possible, but a little bit awkward. The jimping on it, you can see, let's get back over here, it's jimped all the way around, which is awesome. But what that is for is a place to put your finger on when you're holding it. And so what I found is it does work like this, but where it works better is if you're grabbing the knife like this, your finger catches in that jimping and your hand isn't going anywhere. So you can really do some, you know, powerful cuts. Although that wasn't a cut that needed to be powerful because this cardboard is so thin, but whatever. Ergos. It's a good spot to talk about ergos. Very good, very neutral. Not really much to complain about. The pocket clip can create a little bit of a hot spot, but nothing that, you know, knife people haven't dealt with before, so that's nice. Carry, how's it carry? Yeah, it pretty much disappears in the pocket, tucks away nicely, and get your hand in there and move around. The micarta is smooth, so you don't have to worry about it eating your pocket. The clip is good. It has a little whoosh, which I always like, and it does have a lot of clearance under there. Even though the screws are not recessed, there is a lot of clearance under there, so it fits pretty good. Anyways, let's get back to the table, and I will talk a little bit about what I like and what I don't like about this awesome little knife. Let's do it. Well, this has been a weird and memorable review. Let's go ahead and finish it off by talking about what I like and don't like about this guy. And, whoops, we'll start with the likes. First thing, it's a small knife. You know, I am kind of a big knife guy, but you know, especially, you know, I'm attending college, and there's some times where I just don't want to carry my 80-15, you know? So I really do have a place for small knives like this in my life, and I'm glad there's knives that fill that spot. So that's awesome. Next thing, fin finish was very good. I say as I just about throw the knife over. Centering was dead on. Everything came really nice. It locks up solid. There's no blade play. Action was good. And yeah, just really, really impressed with that. Next thing I like is the blade. Great slicer. It's a good shape, you know, just your basic drop point. And I really, really like that a whole lot. The micarta here is also excellent. I might be a little bit biased because I love blue knives, but look at this. That is awesome. It looks fabulous. Just, man. Yeah, it looks good. So, I like my card a whole lot. Next, it carries really well. You know, it's small, it's light. Is there internal milling? No, there is not, but still a decently light knife. Let's see, where'd that spec card go? Do they have the weight on here? No, they did not. Maybe I'll throw the weight up on the screen, or maybe I won't. We'll see. So, yeah, it carries really, really good. I don't definitely notice it being heavy, but again, I'm a guy who carries knives like this on a regular basis. So, the clip is good. If the screws were flat, it would be perfect, but you have plenty of room under there for your pants. Not a problem at all. The ergos, they're good. They're really good. The knife, you know, it locks in. A little bit of a hot spot off the clip, but that's not uncommon. They lock in good. You can choke up there a little bit. I already mentioned, but what I find this is best for is if you're going to be like doing pushing cuts like this. This jamming here is aggressive enough that if your finger's on there, the knife is not going anywhere. So that's really, really nice. Next thing, access to the liner is very good. That's something I always appreciate. And they delivered. Another thing, I like this pivot. That's pretty cool. It kind of has, I don't know, it kind of gives off Harry Potter, you know, like the Deathly Hallows type vibe, even though I know in this case it'd just be the Resurrection Stone and the Cloak of Invisibility. There's no Elder Wand, but oh well. I guess you don't want the Elder Wand anyway, so I'll probably kill you for it. So that's cool. Another thing, the thumb studs. These are nice. These are nice thumb studs. They work very well. They're comfortable. Spidey flicking. Yeah. You have these little areas here that are milled out that are mostly for when you're holding it ergonomically, but they also work as a place to just kind of guide your thumb to where it needs to be to do that stud. So that's awesome. Next thing is the action. This is a good action. Very good. And the action is dialed in well for both the flipper tab and the thumb studs. The flipper tab is an interesting flipper tab, and as you've probably seen a couple times here during this video, I have missed a flip, and that's because it is easy to not really get on this flipper tab right. That little spot there is kind of round, which is a little bit of a complaint, but if you're paying attention, it's not hard to actuate it at all. It's just, you know, if you're not paying attention or you're trying to go fast, sometimes you can be like, ah, except I deployed at that time. Never works when you want it to. Yeah. It also doesn't work very well with push buttoning. Especially, yeah, push buttoning's not very good here. Yeah. I also love the multiple deployment options. That's pretty cool. I always appreciate that. And I like how the scales are kind of shadow boxed by these by the liners. They stand a little bit proud. So that's awesome. What do I not like? There's not a whole lot here, so we'll just jump right into it. I already mentioned, you know, you can have issues with the flipper tab. I wish the pocket clip was reversible. You know, some people may or may not agree with that. This choil up here, I guess it's kind of a sharpening choil. And I can kind of get my first knuckle of my finger up in there, but honestly, I wish they brought this back and given us more edge instead of what they did here, but you know, so it's not horrible. Another thing, QSP logo is like falling off of the flat. It's falling off the top part of the blade here and falling onto the grind. That's a little bit weird. I've heard other people mentioning that, like Wayne Sharp World. He reviewed this knife too, and he had the same issue. So yeah. The price on this guy. What is the price on this guy? I'll be right back. About $55. Sorry about that. I can't remember if it was 50 or 55. It's about $55. $54.98 for most places. For this version, which there are several versions of this knife. They've got some fancy ones in like wood and marble to carbon fiber with Damascus. I believe there's some in S35VN, and you can also get this version here with the 14C28N in this blue, black, I think, a green micarta. There are several options. Look them up. You'll probably find something that you like. And yeah, I think that's all my complaints with this knife. We talked about the flipper tab being a little bit weird sometimes. We talked about the logo. We talked about the choily problem. Clip not being reversible. Yeah, I guess we're ready to go into my final conclusions on this guy, which is that I love this knife. I really love this knife. It's very... I love carrying this knife. It's very hard for me to put something else in my pocket a lot of the times. You know, if I'm, going to be heading to class, I'll throw this guy in my pocket before I leave the apartment. If I'm going to be going on a walk or something, throw this guy in the pocket. Around the house even, this guy's in my pocket. And that says a lot, because I do have a lot of knives that I could choose to carry. And the fact that I choose to carry this guy more than a lot of other stuff is a testament to how great it is. And yeah, overall, this is probably my favorite QSP. I haven't handled very many, but this one is probably my favorite so far. I think QSP is an underrated brand for sure. I really, really like them. And I'm going to get more QSP knives to test out. Let's wipe some fingerprints off the blade. You know, that's something with 14C28N. If you have it sand finished, man, that stuff collects fingerprints. But anyways, I think that's all I have to say here. I like it when a knife is so good and simple that I really don't have to say much, and I don't have to make a half-hour long video. That's nice. So yeah, I 100% recommend this knife. It's fantastic if you're looking for a small EDC, and it's blue. This one's blue. I love it. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you liked, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Gideon out.